Hi, today I want to talk about how to soften your jeans. A lot of blue jeans when you get them, virtually all blue jeans when you get them, are kind of itchy and scratchy when you get them. It doesn't affect everybody, but I know my skin's real sensitive to that. For any kind of new jeans or any kind of new clothes in general, I generally have to wash all the clothing I get first before I can wear it. Sometimes I have to wash things 2 or 3 times before they soften up enough to where I can wash them. With blue jeans, however, it's even a harder task because it takes so long to break them in. And I came across a method a few years back, and I've been using this on my last couple batches of blue jeans, and I thought, well, let's walk through this today, because I just ordered some new jeans from Kohl's, and there's 4 pair, they're exactly the same size, they're all Sonoma Relaxed. Let me go ahead and open up one here. And they're pretty soft to start, so these are Sonoma Relaxed flex wear, I guess is one of the keys there. So these aren't too bad to start, and it's taken me a while to find a pair of jeans that even out of the box was approaching being soft enough for me. So anyway, these tend to work pretty good, and the secret here is actually 2 things. Actually, I think it's more 1 thing, but when you get on the internet, a lot of people will talk about washing your jeans with vinegar, and I will do that just to maybe help out. I don't know that it does that much to the blue jean. It might help remove some of if there's any kind of sizing agents or anything like that in a new pair of jeans or a new pair of clothes in general. But blue jeans, I'm comfortable putting some vinegar in with it, and we don't really need a lot, but that's one of the first things we'll do when we wash it. And then the other thing, which I think makes the most difference, is sandpaper. And the deal is we're going to work from the inside of the jeans. So everything we do here, we're going to turn the jeans inside out, and that's what we're focusing on, because that's the part that touches your skin, not the outside. And by doing that, then you don't damage the outside either. So it'll seem a little harsh when we're doing this, but actually it works out pretty good. So it doesn't shorten the life of the jean at all, or very little, especially if you just take care of how you're sanding and how much you're sanding, and we'll look at that. So I'm going to go ahead and unpack the rest of these, and we'll get started. Okay, we're back now. I've unpacked everything. I've tried all my blue jeans on before I go through all this processing, which is probably a good idea. Make sure they fit. And so what we're going to do now is simply take this, flatten it out as much as you can, and I'm going to focus primarily on, so where the pockets are here, right up around the crotch area. I don't think you need to go up in here so much, because that's going to be, most people would wear underwear and stuff, so that shouldn't really be touching your skin, but you can hit that as well, maybe along the waistline as well. But primarily we're going to be taking our sandpaper and just carefully, and not real hard, we're just going to take it, and I generally just go one direction, so I'll kind of pull down like this. And you don't have to do very hard. This is 100 grit sandpaper. So as we're washing these and doing the sanding and all this prep work, let's see what we're actually doing. So if we go to the first pre-treatment picture here, I took those with a microscope, USB microscope of my kids. So that's about 60x, I think, something like that. But as you can see, there's a lot of these little fibers here. Those are sticking out, and that's maybe part of what makes it kind of itchy. After our first sanding and wash cycle, you can see that the number of loose fibers here has been reduced quite a bit, and that's less things that are going to be poking out into your skin. After the second wash, more so, a little less fibers poking out and looking a little bit better. By the third wash, when we've added softener, you can tell it's gone, especially compared to the first picture, there's been a huge reduction in the amount of fibers that are poking out. And then if we look at an old pair of jeans, you can see that there's virtually no fibers sticking out, and it's pretty much a smooth surface, which you would expect on an old pair of jeans. Basically, we're just going to go through like that. And what's going to happen is you're going to start seeing these little fuzzies come off. Like I said, I want to make sure I don't hit that little bolt there, because that'll leave a kind of a nasty mark. Anywhere it bunches up, it's kind of like ironing too, because you just want to avoid getting anything bunched up or anything. So it's a little tedious, but the results are certainly worth it. And once you do this, we're going to do this like this first, wash them with vinegar and everything. We'll do a heavy-duty wash, and then we'll repeat this process, and they should be pretty much ready to go. So I'm not going to use any fabric softener for this first part, the first 2 scrapings, or whatever you want to call it. Okay, so that gives you an idea of just kind of what you're doing. And so when you flip it over again, Be careful with the seams. You don't want to, I don't think you want to sandpaper any kind of seams like that. You'll probably weaken the seams if you did that. So really focus on these big swaths here of cloth. This is where you want to be focusing. So I think that's yeah, so we're going to go ahead and move over here, and I'll finish the rest of these up, and then we'll come back and throw them in the wash. So as we're washing these and doing the sanding and all this prep work, let's see what we're actually doing. So if we go to the first pre-treatment picture here, I took those with a microscope, USB microscope of my kids. So that's about 60x, I think, something like that. But as you can see, there's a lot of these little fibers here. Those are sticking out, and that's maybe part of what makes it kind of itchy. After our first sanding and wash cycle, you can see that the number of loose fibers here has been reduced quite a bit, and that's less things that are going to be poking out into your skin. After the second wash, more so, a little less fibers poking out and looking a little bit better. By the third wash, when we've added softener, you can tell it's gone, especially compared to the first picture, there's been a huge reduction in the amount of fibers that are poking out. And then if we look at an old pair of jeans, you can see that there's virtually no fibers sticking out, and it's pretty much a smooth surface, which you would expect on an old pair of jeans. Okay, now we're done with the sanding part, and I'm going to leave the jeans inside out like they are. We're going to throw them in the washer here, and we're going to add our vinegar and our soap. Pretty much the soap, just use what you normally would do. It may be a little bit more if you want. The key here is going to be, we're going to put it on the max, this is called super wash on this one, whatever heavy duty setting you have on your washer is fine. And I don't know if the water temperature matters that much, but I'll just leave it on cold for the most part. I think that's fine. And then I will add an extra rinse to get any remaining vinegar or anything in there. It's just something I do. All right, let's go ahead and get that in the washing machine. And I don't have much vinegar left in here. Maybe, I'm not good with measurements, but maybe half a cup, 3/4 of a cup. And I'm just going to pour all that in, and because that's all I've got. So we'll just use what we have, and supposedly this will help acidify the water a little bit and maybe get out some of the whatever's in there. But I don't know that it really helps on the softening process, but I do think it may help remove any kind of residual chemicals or anything that happens to be in the fabric. So anyway, so we're going to put this on extra rinse. And whoop, not ready yet. And put it on super wash. And we'll see you when it's done washing. Okay, we completed the first go around. They feel a little bit softer. I think you'll notice it more when you actually put them on, but we're going to go ahead and we're going to repeat this whole process again. First we'll do the sanding, and then we'll wash them again with the heavy duty wash, and this time we'll actually add some fabric softener, but first let's get back to sanding. So we'll start with that. Okay, so we've completed the second wash and the second dry. Right now the dryer is just starting to go into the cool down stage. Our old dryer would just stop at some point, but this one has a cool down stage, so you have to kind of pay attention to when it's still going through the cycles and everything. So if I stop it now, the jeans will be dry and pretty warm. If I don't stop it now, it'll continue to go on and cool down the jeans, which is not a huge deal, but it seems like when I do this, it's better off when the jeans are still warm, that they seem to respond better to this treatment. So when we pull them out, one of the things I do is I'm going to roll these up, and for some reason that does seem to make a difference. So if some people like to hang them on a hanger or whatever, when you process them, but when you put them away, either hang them on a hanger straight or fold them up straight, nice and flat, they don't seem to get as soft for some reason, and maybe that's psychological, I don't know. But as I go through and I can feel these, they definitely feel softer, and I'm going to go ahead and roll these up. And somehow this still does something to the fibers when you roll it up, whether they're warm or cold, but it seems like when you pull them out of the dryer, just go ahead and roll them up like this. And I just store them in my closet like that, and they stack nice, and they seem to stay they don't seem to wrinkle or anything. I guess some people would be worried about wrinkling jeans. If you had designer jeans or something, all this is probably off the table. But if you're someone like me that just functionally you wear jeans every day and you have a problem with them being kind of scratchy and itchy, this would be the way to do that. So we'll continue that and get all the jeans out. Okay, they seem to roll up a little bit better as they get more broken in, but these actually feel pretty good. So that's kind of what I expected, was these to be somewhat more soft feeling. And I think over time, you're just going to want to continue to do this, washing them inside out. So when I store them like this. They're just stacked on a shelf in the closet, rolled up like this. And then at the end of the day, I generally wash my jeans every time I use them. Some people like to wear their jeans several times. You might wear them a week for that matter, you know, depending on what you're doing with them and everything. But I generally wear them once when wearing it, you know, in a day, and then I would wash them. And I wash them as a set, so I'm always washing all 4 jeans together. And so these jeans will be washed together for the next year or two, something. They last pretty good, so they're very durable. That's the nice thing about blue jeans. I really do like them. They stand up to the wear and tear that I give them. But I generally use a normal wash with cold water with an extra rinse. This is a Downy fabric softener ball, and I generally fill that up about halfway for 4 to 5 jeans, depending on how many I have in the cycle. So I've actually got, this is my 3rd set of 4 sets of jeans. So I've been doing this for several years now, obviously. And the jeans seem to last a couple years this way. So when you wash them, you're going to want to, again, wash them as a set. You can do whatever settings you feel are necessary. I use about half a ball of Downy or whatever fabric softener you're using. I use Snuggle, and I also use the Members Mark from Sam's as well. I'm sure Costco and some other places have different brands. You probably want to experiment with your different soaps as well. For a long time, I was using Cheer, and it seemed to have pretty good results with that. Right now, we're using Gain. I think that's one that's available and hasn't seemed to cause any problems. Some of the soaps, when they have different scents and different things in them, might cause some reactions to your skin. My doctor, when I talked to her about it, some of the issues I was having, she suggested not using the dryer sheets because she thought the dryer sheets might have more of an irritating effect than, say, like a fabric softener. I don't know if that's true. I just know I came across this formula. It seems to work well. So I hope this works for people. If you have some suggestions, certainly I'd be willing to listen to them. I think the key is you're focusing on the inside of the jean, not the outside. And so if you're worried about wear and tear and the way the jean looks, this seems to circumvent that because you're focusing on the inside. In fact, when you're washing them, the inside's on the outside, so that's getting most of the wear and tear during the wash cycle. I don't know if that helps with longevity of the jeans and the way they look, whatever. They wear out eventually, and that's why I actually got this next set here. So anyway, I hope this was helpful to people. If you have any suggestions or questions, please let me know in the comments section. I appreciate you watching this video. If you really like it, please give it a thumbs up and also consider subscribing. So thank you very much.